So to build the square foot garden bed frames, you're going to need some materials and some tools. What I do is I go to Lowe's and I get a piece of a 2x6x16, and I ask them to cut it into 4-foot lengths for me. Sometimes they'll charge you $1 to do that, but a lot of times they won't. You'll also need some 3-inch screws. You may also want to pick up some 1.5-inch screws too for attaching the grid later on, but you don't need that to build the box at first. You'll also need a 2x2. You only need about 30 inches, but you might as well go ahead and get an 8-foot piece because you can use it if you're going to build multiple beds. Helpful to have a skill saw, 2 drills, one to drill holes and the other one to screw in the screws. And with this 2x8, what I do is I measure an 8-inch length, and then at the 8-inch mark I make a 45-degree angle, and then at the bottom of that angle I measure up 8 inches and put myself a straight line. So this here is going to make 2 pieces, and they're both going to have 45-degree angle tips. And I did the same thing a few inches up over here. So I've got a total of about 30 inches there that I need to do all 4 corners of my box. So just to give you an idea how I'm going to assemble this, I'm going to butt ends to end. So in this first corner here, I'm going to put 2 screws, one right here and one right here, and see how that one is going to cap this one over here on this side, and then this one's going to cap the next one, and this one's going to cap this one. So they're all kind of staggered. I want to make sure they're 90-degree angles in each corner, and then I want to start drilling my holes and putting in screws. And I should note that this wood is untreated wood. I don't use pressure treated wood because of the chemicals in it aren't so great for human consumption. So I'm going to make sure my angle is 90 degrees. These are nice and even with each other. I'm just going to drill this guy. Hard to do with one hand. Take this screw. Alright, and I'm just going to repeat that process on each corner. I'm going to do 2 screws on each side. So I have my 2x8 cut now, and I'm going to take one of these pieces and I'm going to put it right here in my corner. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 screws into it from this side over here, there, and then I'm going to put 1 screw into it right about there, and I'm going to try to make sure that my screws don't bump into each other. So I'll have a total of 3 screws on this side and a total of 2 screws on this side. Okay, I've got all the corner pieces in place, and like I said, I put a total of 3 screws on this side, a total of 2 screws on this side that go into the pieces. Now, each side of your bed is going to be 46.5 inches if you follow the same measurements that I did originally. And what you may want to do is mark it off from the inside diameter, that 46-inch stretch there. Mark it off at 11 5/8, at 23 1/4, and at 34 7/8, and do that on every side. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a screw on each of those marks about in the middle, so that will hold my grid on if or I can stretch twine across it or whatever, so I can divide this thing up into equal squares. So for this part, I only use 1 5/8 inch screws. These are self-drilling screws actually, and what I do is I drill them in there all the way down, and then I back it out just a little bit. And I want to do that with all 12 screws, 3 on each side. So here's the frame of the bed with the corners in place and the screws on top. I'm going to paint the top edge of the bed and the outside of the bed. Now this is the paint that I use. It's a flat interior exterior that I got from Lowe's. I use this Flat Labrador Brown. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I'll post the name of it on the site. Also, remember this is untreated wood as well, so I understand that I'm going to have to replace this wood on a regular basis. It probably lasts 3 years or so, and that's just the price of trying to keep the chemicals out. And at $10 a piece of, for a frame, it's not that bad. So here's the frame of the bed that we built today, with everything in place. Outside and top are painted, the bottom and the inside are not. And then here is one that I already put into place and kind of filled up, and I'll discuss what I did with this one in another video. So this is the end of the video on how to build the frame. The next video will be how to put your frame onto the ground, and get it level and whatnot.